I remember April the 19th, 1995, like I remember my 21st birthday. I was going to Central High School in Lawton, Oklahoma. We were in choir class, and our teacher was playing the radio. And I remember him turning it off. Well, he got a phone call. And I remember the look of confusion and disbelief in his eyes. And now I go back to that memory and I think, what was he thinking? Because he had to tell, and it was mostly females in this class, these young girls, there was an explosion. Now, some of the girls' parents in that class did work in Oklahoma City. So the news wasn't all put together. It was kind of fuzzy at that time to what exactly had went on. I remember them also, they kept us in the class. So we didn't change to another class, he kept us in there. And he had to tell us. And I remember young girls crying because we couldn't get our head around there was a bomb in Oklahoma City. People were worried about their parents. So in April 1995, at Alfred Federal Building, there was a bombing. This is a photo of the very first responder, Mr. Terrance Yeakey, who was born November the 9th, 1965. He helped aid 4 people after the bombing. Now, if you're from Oklahoma, you're probably familiar with this case or just haven't thought about him and what happened to him. A little more than a year after the bombing in 1996, Terrance was found unalived in a field in Reno, Oklahoma. Terrance's friends and family said that he saw something disturbing at the site of the bombing. Now, he did not tell them the specifics of what he saw, but he did say, it's not true. It's not true what they're saying. It didn't happen that way. So Terrance decided to do an investigation into the bombing. During this time, during the investigation, his family started to receive threatening phone calls. The windows were broken out in their home, and they found nails in their car. Their home was also ransacked several times during his investigation. It is believed that Terrance found evidence of a cover-up of the bombing by federal agents. Now, his body was found 3 days before he was set to receive a Medal of Valor from the Oklahoma City Police Department, which would have happened on May the 11th, 1996. Now, the official report states that Yeakey committed suicide, but however, the circumstances of his death does cause questions. His body was found in his hometown of El Reno, which was a mile away from his bloody abandoned vehicle. And it was so bloody they said it looked like it was a hog had been butchered inside. There was also evidence that he was tied up with rope. The ME report states there was a through and through gunshot of the head, multiple superficial wounds to the wrist, neck, and antecubital fossa, which just means like your elbow. When you bend your elbow, that's the part they're talking about. Terrance had over 11 slashes on his wrists, arms, elbows, also stab wounds on both sides of his neck near the jugular vein, and it states the cause of death was a small caliber at a 45-degree angle to his head. Now, Terrance was over 6 feet tall, and I do believe he was over 230 pounds. So this was not a small guy. Again, there was also evidence of rope that was used because he had bruises on his wrist. His wounds also were embedded in slash wounds. So how did this man do all that and then travel a mile away? Terrance's wife also stated that she was being lied about regarding his wounds to his body. They just told her that he shot himself in the head. He was found on May the 8th. They did not inform her until May the 9th. So she didn't know until a day after that he had been found deceased. 40 police officers looked for the suicide weapon. Remember the gun they said that he unalived himself with? They looked for over an hour. They couldn't find it. It wasn't until the FBI came with a helicopter and they found the weapon 5 minutes later. But no description of the weapon has ever been released to the public. It's very convenient that they found the weapon within 5 minutes of arriving on scene, and the government continues to state the narrative that he was distraught and that he felt guilty that he could not help more people than what he did, and it just caused him to pretty much just, unalive himself. But then he walked 8,000 feet through rough terrain to then shoot himself in the head. His wife doesn't believe that. They believe that someone from the government had this man alive. Also, police from the El Reno department did come to her home, and they informed her it was best for her to leave. So she took her children and she left. Now, there are a lot of different conspiracy regarding the Oklahoma City bombing, that it was done from the inside and not the out. There were less children at the daycare than there usually were, which was weird. They had people doing maintenance there. A lot of conspiracies, but for sure one thing is someone lost their father, their husband, and their son. And we lost a hero, and that's the most devastating thing about this.